Welcome back to World History. This is the first video of week 4. So by this point, you should have taken the chapter 19 test as well as finished everything that went with it and turned it back in with your packet. You should have gotten week 4's packet on Monday. If you have all that, let's continue. Big letter C, the steps toward war. Remember, up to this point, we've been talking about how everything seems to be escalating towards World War I. We had mentioned that while there were attempts at peace, like the Olympics, works by Alfred Nobel and Andrew Carnegie, there was still a great fear as well. Extreme nationalism, militarism, imperialism, as well as rival alliances. So let's talk about the actual steps, the actual events that led us to World War I. Otto von Bismarck, we talked about him a few chapters ago, continued as Chancellor of United Germany after 1871. Having defeated France in the Franco-Prussian War, Bismarck believed that the best thing to do for Germany's interest was to isolate France diplomatically. That was Bismarck's system. So if you need to write anything down for Bismarck's system, write down the goal was to isolate France diplomatically. So let's see how he did it. First thing, the Three Emperors League, 1873. Thing you need to know about it is it was an alliance between Germany, AustriaHungary, and Russia. They promised that if any of them were attacked by France, they would support one another in the conflict. The alliance fell apart when Austria and Russia began to dispute over the Balkan region. Instead, Germany and Austria created their own alliance in case Russia attacked either one of them. Another alliance was called the Triple Alliance of 1882. You need to know that it was an alliance between Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. Once again, if any of them were attacked by France, they would work together. And one more alliance that Bismarck created was the Reinsurance Treaty of 1887. You need to know that it was a secret alliance between Germany and Russia. Bismarck attempted to create an alliance with Britain against France as well, but Britain refused to join the web of alliances on the continent. Bismarck, of course, had no fears because an alliance between France and Britain, that seemed unlikely to ever happen. After all, Britain and France hate each other. We'll see about that. Number 2, the breakdown of Bismarck's system. Wilhelm II, he will rule Germany from 1888 to 1918. He was the Kaiser, or Emperor of Germany. That's what you need to know. Not yet 30, he was a proud and arrogant man who resented the influence of Bismarck. As emperor, he wanted all of the power, and he forced Bismarck to resign. A little bit more about Kaiser Wilhelm II. Wilhelm's court was one of the most opulent in Europe. He loved show and pageantry and dressed his palace guards in the uniforms of Frederick II's day. He thought of himself as another Frederick the Great. Wilhelm himself owned many uniforms and changed 3 or 4 times a day. His biggest delight came when Queen Victoria made him an honorary officer of a British regiment, which meant that he could get another uniform. He loved to travel around Germany, and when he did so, he took his entire staff with him. Often Wilhelm and his entourage arrived at their destination late at night, but he thought nothing of waking the entire town. Many historians believe that insecurity shaped Wilhelm's personality and actions. His partially crippled left arm might have contributed to the insecurity. Like many insecure people, Wilhelm boasted constantly about himself. He often verbally blasted Germany's opponents. He proclaimed to his troops at the beginning of World War I, "Remember that you are a chosen people. The Spirit of the Lord has descended upon me because I am Emperor of the Germans. I am the instrument of the Most High. I am his sword, his representative. Woe and death to all who resist my will. Woe and death to those who do not believe in my mission. Woe and death to the cowards! Let them all perish, all the enemies of the German people. God demands their destruction. God, who through my mouth commands you to execute his will. So definitely he had some high opinions about himself. Well, Wilhelm II, while Emperor of Germany, made some bad decisions which will unravel Germany's strong position in Europe. First thing that he did was he allowed the reinsurance treaty to expire. Remember, that was an alliance between Germany and Russia. France quickly capitalized on it and made a treaty of its own with Russia. They agreed to aid each other in case Germany ever invaded either one. Germany also found itself antagonizing Britain. Germany began a massive shipbuilding program that threatened Britain's naval supremacy. Germany also began to interfere with British affairs in Africa. Wilhelm II was trying to create an empire in one generation that it took Britain several generations to do. Britain saw this sudden growth of power as dangerous. So Germany antagonized Britain. Because of this, the Entente Cordiale was formed. Against all odds, Britain and France put aside their differences and came to a friendly understanding because of a growing fear of Germany. So the Entente Cordiale, it literally means friendly understanding, and it was between Britain and France. On friendly understanding, Britain and France. And then we have the Triple Entente. This was an alliance between Britain, France, and Russia. As you can see from the map below, the two sides are now formed. Britain, France, and Russia form the Triple Entente, and then Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy form the Triple Alliance. Number 3, the testing of the alliance system. By the beginning of the 20th century, Europe was divided into two camps. The question that remained was, would these alliances work? The following crises solidified the alliance system, but also increased international tension and fear in Europe. Letter A, German interference with French plans in Morocco. See, Britain and France had made a secret treaty that gave the Sudan to Britain and Morocco to France. Germany hoped to receive approval from Britain by threatening France. After all, if you want to be on Britain's good side, historically it was to trouble France. Germany hoped to receive approval from Britain by threatening France. Unfortunately for Germany, the opposite occurred. Britain gave France its full approval, France gained control of Morocco, and France and Germany continue to hate one another. Letter B, Austria, Russia, and the Balkans, known as the powder keg of Europe. If you look in your books at page 442, shows you a map of the Balkans, shows you the Ottoman Empire, it shows you the territories that the Ottomans lost, and then it just goes to show you the different countries that formed during this time. You see Austria to the northwest, Russia to the northeast. In 1912, the Balkan countries joined forces to drive the Ottoman Empire out of Europe. They did so successfully, but then began fighting among themselves over the spoils. Austria hoped to take advantage of this chaos and expand its control in the Balkans. The Russians, who are of the same ethnic culture as the Balkans, posed as the protector of the Balkans in the hopes of expanding into the region as well. So both Austria and Russia want control of the Balkans, basically. The beginning of World War I would erupt in the powder keg of Europe. That was, again, the nickname for the Balkans. Powder keg, the idea of this giant supply of, gunpowder, which, of course, once lit, explodes. Turn your books, please, to page 441. I want you to read the orange box entitled Settling the Armenian Question. Please read that box to yourself. Once you have finished, please unpause the video and we'll continue. One more thing about the Armenian question. If you look in your activities book to page 181 to 183, it gives you more details into the Armenian massacre that took place. So if reading the Armenian question interested you into knowing a bit more, page 181 to 183 in the activities book gives you more information. I'm not assigning that as homework, but in case that interests you. On June 28th, 1914, on a very testable date, the Austrian Archduke Francis Ferdinand, who, by the way, was the heir to the throne of Austria-Hungary, was assassinated by Serbian terrorists. Austria, of course, accused the Serbian government of knowing about the plot and failing to inform Austria. Ultimatum. Definition of an ultimatum is it is a list of demands with threats. Austria gave Serbia an ultimatum that demanded an explanation and apology for the crime, provide a thorough investigation of the assassination, and suppress all anti-Austrian publications and organizations. Serbia rejected the ultimatum, and on July 28th, Austria declared war on Serbia. Germany promised to support Austria. Another term worth defining is the word mobilize. There's Francis Ferdinand right there, his wife, who both would be assassinated shortly thereafter after this picture was taken. The word mobilize means to make ready their troops for war. And that is exactly what all of Europe is about to do. For your homework, page 179 in your activities book, that is a map. So I know you guys love doing maps. Page 179 in your activities book, that'll be due with the next video. Also, you can have a quiz, pages 437 to 442, primarily all over Roman numeral 1. So you have that quiz as well. Make sure you do both, and make sure you remember to turn in both assignments, the homework and the quiz, in your week 4 packet. Hope you all have a good rest of the day. Be good, do good. Bye.